guys, and welcome to part 3 of my Game of Thrones Season 6 review. I know, this is getting really long-winded, and those of you who have made it to this part and still give a shit, thank you. I really like you guys. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about in this part of the review is the Hound and his return. I thought it was a really great return. If you go back and watch that reaction where we got really excited for a specific return, we thought it was going to be Gendry. Because it was like a blacksmith working and we got really excited. And some of you figured out why we were so excited and then we were like, oh. But we love the Hound too and we were excited for that as well. I was a little upset about Ian McShane's super short stay on the show. I'm a big fan of Deadwood. Go watch it. If you've never seen it, go watch Deadwood. But I was really excited for him to join the cast and he was like there for like an episode. Just rude. But I did like that the Hound seemed to be caring about people a little bit more, and I also liked that we got some, when he came across the Brotherhood with banners, we got some good old-fashioned Hound violence, like, ready to go. But the big thing that you probably is kind of the thing to talk about is what's going to happen when him and Arya run into each other again. Is he's still on her list? She kind of alluded to the fact that he is not, but that might be because she thinks she killed him. So I think that they're going to team up again, and I would love that. My favorite Arya is when she was with the Hound in season 4. I was obsessed with them. That first, the ending scene of episode 1, if you guys are tracking, you guys know what I'm talking about. Love that scene. I just think they're absolutely amazing, and I want to see them team up. I know that some people want to see her and the Hound team up against Cersei and the Mountain. I would rather see a more clash happen within the Lannisters, but I am all for the Hound and Arya going around and fucking everybody up, and hopefully reuniting with a Stark or 2 or 3. I mean, the Starks need to come together. Like, come on. We've got some. We've got more than we've gotten in all the previous seasons. But, you know, let's get into this, right? Okay, so now I'm going to talk about quite possibly my biggest letdown of the season, I think. And that was Riverrun. Okay. It was really great to see Bronn and Podrick together. I could watch a whole show with just them. Just throwing that out there. And it was also super amazing to see Brienne and Jaime have scenes together. Their relationship is so beautiful. God, I wish that's going to be interesting to see moving forward. What is going to happen? There's probably going to be further clashes between the two. Or, like, I don't even know. God, I mean, I just think they're going to see each other again, I feel like, and it may not be under the best conditions, but I think they know that, and they still really deeply care for each other. It's just something really great about their relationship I just really love. But my issue with Riverrun is I wish more happened. I'm going to get into this a little bit more at the end of the video, but I felt like there was a lot of buildup to Riverrun and it seemed kind of a letdown. And I know you can't have a big battle every season, but why can't the battle of the season, I love the Battle of the Bastards, do not get me wrong, but just in general, just putting this thought out there, why can't the battle of the season be more focused around Jaime than focused around Jon? I know pretty much he's the main character, Jon is, not Jaime. But I wish that there were kind of more big moments for other characters other than Jon and Daenerys. And I am going to get into this a little bit more at the end of this video, kind of when I talk about the whole season. And I felt like it was a little bit of a letdown and it just wasn't what I was really hoping for out of that storyline. I think I do like the Blackfish a lot, and I thought the kind of scene where Jamie is talking to Edmure was very chilling, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, you're a Lannister. Oh, thanks for reminding me. You're a little crazy. I thought that there were great moments within that. I just wish that they did a little bit more with Riverrun in general. But again, I am also aware that, you know, the show has limited time and money, and you gotta kind of focus on the things that people really want to see. And I may be the only person who really wanted to see, like, Jamie and Bronn, like, be a badass together and, like, in Riverrun, but yeah, I mean, it was probably just me. So I totally get it, writers, that, you know, you're not catering to this lady right here. So now moving on to King's Landing and the Faith Militant and Margarey. Okay, so Margarey, my dear, I think she was playing a good game. She underestimated how crazy Cersei is. Absolutely. Which caused her death. And I know that she realized it in the scene where she died. But she should have realized it sooner. She really should have. She should have known that Cersei was not going to, like, take it lying down. But other than that, let's move on from that. I think she was trying to put herself in the best position that she could with the Faith Militant, getting her grandmother out of the city and trying her oh so damnedest to save her brother. For me, that was like the tragedy of, you know, those people blowing up. I was really into it. We'll get to that in a second. However, the tragedy of it was the fact that Margarey was really trying to escape with Loras. She, like, grabbed Loras, and that was just so beautiful that she was, like, so concerned, and she was like, please, like, you know, stick with me, and they wouldn't let her out, which I guess could be a fault of her own doing, trying to make a pact with crazy religious fanatics. But I thought that it was just, poor Loras. I felt really bad for him. He just got that thing, like, carved in his head, and then they're just gonna blow him up. Like, poor guy. He was really on his last legs, but he's got a great new job over at Marvel, so he's fine. All right, the actor, he's good. But I thought it was interesting and kind of a sad end. Olenna is still around and going to be seeking a whole lot of vengeance. And I'm excited to see. I love a good vengeance plotline, so I'm sure that that's going to be pretty crazy when that happens. But I wasn't the biggest fan of the Tyrells. They were okay. They were there. They just didn't intrigue me like other characters have. And so, yeah, when you watch my reaction, my like sympathy for them was a whole lot of, like, zero fucks. I mean, I cared, but I was more into the fact that Cersei made a boss-ass move than Margarey dying. So sorry about that, those of you who are big Margarey fans. I got a little bit of shit for that, but oh well, that's life. So of course I'm going to end this season 6 Game of Thrones review on my main bitch Cersei, and I know this is the point where you all, like, think I'm crazy, but I'm going to talk about Cersei for a bit, so it's going to get long-winded. Just prepare yourself for that. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. So I was really excited about that finale scene. So excited. Did you see my reaction? I was really into it. I was waiting for Cersei to fuck them all up and to go absolutely mad. But let's talk about why I like Cersei, because a lot of people don't get it. Even people who are really nice to me, and I talk back and forth with messages and stuff like that, some of my subscribers, I get a lot of shit for Cersei. There are certain people who can give me shit, but there are other people that I just, like if you don't get it, you don't get it. She's such a good character. I don't care that she's a villain. Like, I mean, I know that she's a villain. It's not like I'm super rooting for her. I don't want her at the throne at the end. I can't wait to see her die because she's gonna act the fuck out of that scene. She's amazing. Lena, just, you blow me away. Like, every season, every scene, you're phenomenal. Get your Emmy, girl. But I would rather watch a mad woman and her descent into madness and the fury that she has than watch a good character and their kind of decently written and acted storyline. I'm sorry, and that's probably not what most of you believe, and I'm a little out of the box when it comes to that, but I could watch Cersei all day. I think she's come such a long way. I think that I could make a whole video on Cersei. I won't really go into it that much here. I think she's pissed off that she wasn't born a man. I think she's done all that she could to keep her house in power as a woman. I think she's a boss, and I think she's insane. And I love watching that. I love a good villain. I absolutely, and I'm a big fan of the Lannisters in general. All of them. I love Tywin so much. Like, he was amazing. He was a dick, but he commanded the room that he, sat in. So does Cersei. I mean, you can hate her, but she's got a lot of power. She's got a lot of craziness. She's not wrapped too tight, and I love it. That moment was just the moment in the finale, was just the moment that I was just waiting for all season, to see her really go over the edge and to really showcase the fact that she's not fucking around, and she's also not, she doesn't care. She doesn't care about the citizens or the she didn't care if she blew up there. She just was like, I just want you to know that if you hurt me, I will hurt you. I mean, the Faith Militant's biggest fucking mistake was to make Cersei do a walk of shame and not kill her. Like, I think a lot of people were calling that, like, Dwayne, you should probably kill her. You should, because it's not going to end well for you. No, it's really not. Like, that's how I was feeling. There were a ton of people who were like, oh, she's not going to do anything. She's just going to get killed and fuck her. Well, listen, she's going to die. She's going to die probably by the end of the next season. And I'm going to get into her death and what I would like to see happen with that. But I'm just really glad that they gave that beautiful music and that beautiful sequence to Cersei's kind of rise into madness. Oh, I just loved it. I really thought that's great television right there. That's just stuff that, like, blows you away, in my opinion. The one thing that I thought was really interesting all season, and if some of you guys can shed some light on this, was Qyburn's, am I saying that right? Insane loyalty to Cersei. Now, I'm assuming that in the past, she's kind of given him people to experiment on, such as the Mountain, but I'm sure, like, if some person, like, pissed her off in the street, she's like, oh, then she would, like, have them abducted and given to Qyburn for experiments, and, that's probably why he has a little bit of loyalty to her. But I always found it fascinating because she was at the lowest of the low in that walk of shame, and I always thought it was really interesting that he was so loyal to her. I get the Mountain, he's kind of made to be loyal to her. So let me know in the comments what you guys think was really the driving force of him being so loyal to Cersei, because I just always found that kind of fascinating. She really had no allies, and she still doesn't, really, when you think about it. She blew everybody up. It's interesting. She still finds a way to be a snake, though, let me tell you. And this will be my, I love Lady Olenna. I love Lady Olenna. I'm gonna do one little knock towards her. She probably shouldn't have laughed in Cersei's face and been like, what are you gonna do? Kill them all yourself? Like, I remember I went back and I watched the whole season, and I watched that scene where she was like, what are you gonna do? Kill them all yourself? And I'm like, oh, well, she does. Hey, I'm like, Cersei just dropped the mic. I think Lady Tyrell is going to get a whole lot of vengeance, don't get me wrong, and I love her. But I did kind of like going back and watching that scene and being like, oh shit, no, well, she really does. She does kill them all herself. So, I'm just saying. So moving forward with Cersei, I think next season is going to be really centered around, whatever you want to call it, the Battle of the Queens. Daenerys getting to Westeros and Cersei trying to fight her back. What's weird to me, and let's talk about this logistically, shall we? What's weird to me is if they are going to make that kind of the big battle of the season. I'm not saying that I know that they are. I'm just saying it seems to be heading that way. I don't know how they're going to make it a viable battle. Cersei has no allies. She will possibly get Euron to marry her, and that's something. But, like, Daenerys has, like, a Dothraki army, she's got the Unsullied, she's got the other Greyjoys, she's got the Martells, and Dorne. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. And she's got the Tyrell. Like, what the fuck is Cersei gonna do? So, no, maybe they're not gonna make it a battle, and maybe they're just gonna go in there and fuck shit up, and Cersei's gonna die in the first episode, and bada bing, bada boom, done, bye bitch. But if they are going to make it a battle, I feel like Cersei, this is all speculation, Cersei is going to have to get a win somehow against Daenerys to kind of even the odds. And I can see that happening maybe earlier on in the season, Cersei taking out like a faction, doing something like that to kind of even the odds, to make the battle a little more believable that this will actually be a battle. Let me know what you're thinking about this. Maybe there won't be a battle. Maybe the battle will be completely somewhere else for the season. Maybe there won't even be a battle of the season. Yeah. The thing that kind of frustrates me about the whole thing is, again, we kind of know who's going to win the battle. I don't like going into battles like knowing who's going to win. You know, Daenerys is got, what a fucking letdown would it be if, like, Daenerys for 6 seasons was like, I'm gonna sit on the Iron Throne, I'm going to Westeros, here we go, woo woo, and then, like, she gets there and Cersei just blows them all up with wildfire. Like, that's not going to happen because it's not going to be satisfying to anybody. So if there is a battle, you know, Daenerys is gonna win, so I get a little wah-wah about it, but let's talk about Cersei's death, which is inevitably going to happen. All of her children have died, and I believe that she will die in the next season. And in the prophecy, I don't think they showed it in the show, but in the books they say that she will be killed by the little brother. Some people are thinking that's the Hound. That's a whole nother can of worms. I would like it to be Jaime or Tyrion. I haven't decided which one yet. The thing that I want, and what I've always wanted with, you know, when people say, what do you want to see most in Game of Thrones? I want to see Tyrion and Cersei reunite. That sounds happy, like they're going to be like hugging. They're not. Tyrion and Cersei are my 2 favorite characters. I'm very open about that. They're also the characters that I think have phenomenal scenes together, and I want them to reunite to have a passionately filled with rage scene together. I want to see them come face to face and all of that anger gets out, because I mean, they both have so much to really hate each other for. You know, I mean, Tyrion, the whole trial, I mean, that was her doing. She was going after him. It was just, you know, ruined his life, and his whole family turned against him, except for Jaime, really. And Cersei is he's the one who sent Marcella into the hands of their enemies that eventually killed her. You know, and he killed her father. Okay, Tyrion's like justified in that shit, I understand, but I'm saying from Cersei's perspective, she has anger towards Tyrion too. It's not just Tyrion being super angry towards Cersei, and I cannot wait. That is what I want to see most on the show. I really, really do. They're the two best actors that the show has, and I want to see them. I kept saying to like everybody that I talked to about Game of Thrones, I want Cersei to live long enough to have that moment with Tyrion where they just get that anger out towards each other and just have that scene. If it turns into him killing her at the end, so be it. But I do realize some of you who really want it to be Jaime. I like that idea too. I think it will be poetic. I think it will be a painful scene for him. I think because people are saying, you know, the reason he killed the Mad King is because the Mad King was threatening to burn everybody. Cersei literally burned everybody. And it's going to be interesting to see that tug and pull between, you know, there's Cersei on one hand, Tyrion on the other, and Jaime in the middle. Maybe I'm reading way too much into this. Maybe they're not going to focus on the Lannisters that much next season, but I fucking hope they do. It's my favorite house to watch. I'm obsessed with them. I just think they're amazing, and I just can't wait to see what happens next. So basically the overview and what I said that when I kept saying that I was going to get back to this, there are some things in Game of Thrones, I like the surprise factor. That's the thing about Game of Thrones and just any TV show that I watch. So I'm going to talk about my gripes with the season. And I'm, again, going to preface this saying, I like Daenerys and I like Jon Snow. Okay. For the past few seasons, they've gotten all of kind of the big moments. The big, amazing moments have gone to Daenerys and Jon Snow. And while I was watching this season, I was getting a little like, okay. Daenerys normally has a big show of power. Normally has to do with fire of some kind, dragons, you know, at the end of season 2, she had when she was chained up, the dragons. At the end of season 1, she burns and dragons. Then, you know, season 3, she got the Unsullied army with her dragons. And then, you know, she's the breaker of chains when she headed to Meereen. Did not have to do with fire that time. All right, show, I see you. And then season 5, she's in the pit and her dragon comes, and season 6 had a whole lot of the fire with the Khals, and she has these amazingly epic moments that show how strong she is and her power. I love them, but I've seen it. Does that make sense? I hope you guys aren't going to hate me for saying that. Jon Snow, great leader, battles. He normally kind of has a big epic battle scene. You know, the Battle of the Wall was season 4, and then season 5 is Hardhome, and then season 6 is Battle of Winterfell. Although he was in quite a pickle in this last one, but he has a battle that's going to show that he's a decent leader. Again, I'm for it. I'm on board. I love it. But those aren't the scenes that are going to stick with me because of the fact that I feel like they're kind of predictable. And I was getting a little upset watching this season go by, thinking, are you going to showcase any of the other characters? And I think it was episode 8. I want to say it was episode 8, that I really got annoyed because I felt like, which you're probably saying, that wasn't a very Jon or Dany heavy episode. It wasn't. That was the Riverrun episode, and then it was at the end, Arya, whatever the episode that was. And I felt like they didn't get their epic moments. Like, you're not showing Brienne being a badass or Jaime stepping up and taking Riverrun. And Arya, her final scene where she kills the waif, we didn't get to see it. I understand the whole point was that it was in the dark and she was blind, but I was kind of upset that, come on, we have to watch Arya go through this whole thing and we can't see her fuck a bitch up and be the badass that she absolutely is. I was getting so like frustrated that it's like, why even care about the other characters of the show if it's the Jon and Daenerys show? And a lot of you are going to say it is the Jon and Daenerys show. Like, shut up, bitch. I get it. But for me, that's why the Hodor scene was just so good to me, because I thought it was just so well done. However, now that I said that, the finale, amazing. You guys did it. You guys gave, I think the two biggest moments in the finale I felt were kind of the more satisfying, big cheering moments was Cersei blowing the out of everybody and Arya finally getting Walder Frey. Daenerys had that big epic moment at the end, and you know, Jon had the whole King of the North speech, but when it came to actual pivotal moves in the Game of Thrones, it went to Cersei and Arya. And I was like, if in the finale we get like something from somebody, I'm fully aware that it's probably going to be Jon and Daenerys as a combination on the throne at the end, whatever. But I do think that we should still focus on other characters. This show has something that other shows do not, and that is the depth of how many characters that they have that people care about. And I know it's tough to really pick and choose, and but that's my whole thing with the show. And I hope you guys are nice to me in the comments. I'm sure I've said a million, I don't know, at least 10 things within all of these parts of the reviews that you people are going to crucify me for, because I don't know what it is about Game of Thrones fans. They really don't like my opinions, which is why I really didn't want to do this. But some of you really wanted me to, and I just, all right, I heard you, and I'm here. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Can't wait for the next season. I can wait a little bit. I get like a lot of abuse in my reaction videos, so to be completely honest, I can totally, the whole fact that the season got pushed back, I was like, I'm okay with it. I'm alright. Don't worry, I don't need to be called an ugly whore for a while. I'm okay with it. Great. Okay. Thank you guys for watching my super long review. It's insane how long this is. I'm so sorry. I'll see you next time. Bye.